Why we could see a bigger price move in the next few hours, we want to talk about in today's video, and with this a great welcome from my side. Right after the intro, Liam will talk with you about the taker volume, on-chain support, the ETF inflows, and also a very important news to the European Central Bank. Right after the on-chain Finn will go with you into the charts. He will take a closer look at the daily, 4-hourly and also hourly time frame, some really important price and also chart patterns for the Bitcoin price. If you like the video in the end, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. We will start right now into the video. I would say let's go.
Let's start with our first news about crypto in Europe, and this is very interesting because the European Central Bank said that Bitcoin's fair value is still zero, and furthermore they claim that the digital asset is not suitable as both a means of payment and investment. So they basically do not believe in Bitcoin and don't want Bitcoin to be another very I would say popular asset in Europe. So basically, I don't think that there will be a spot ETF approval soon in Europe. And I think this is very critical because in America, crypto or especially Bitcoin is very common and also gets more and more popular. And in Europe, they are still very misbelieving in Bitcoin and do not think that Bitcoin will make it. So let's go forward to our first on-chain data, and here we can see the Bitcoin taker volume, all exchanges, in red the net taker sell volume and in green the net taker buy volume. And here we can see that we have enormous selling pressure within futures of Bitcoin. And here we can see that the last time we had this much selling pressure on Bitcoin was in about January 22nd January. So basically in over a month, we have the highest selling pressure on Bitcoin. And this is very interesting because we are just falling with the Bitcoin price from about or almost $53,000 to quite to $50,000. And now it is very unclear if we are keep pumping to the upside. So if we are continuing with our pump to the upside like levels of $55,000 or $57,000, or if we are dumping to the downside and maybe have the correction which is still over because we already pumped around $12,000 or $13,000. So maybe we will have a little correction at the Bitcoin price. And now we want to go forward because our selling pressure is also very high at the spot ETFs, because we had another day yesterday with spot ETF outflows, and this is very interesting because at this point we just had 6 other days where we had outflows out of these spot ETFs. So basically yesterday was the 7th day we had outflows here because grayscale outflows rose about 1,000 or 1,200 Bitcoin yesterday, and this is very important for the Bitcoin price and also keeps another selling pressure on the Bitcoin price so that we may be dumped to the downside. Now we want to go forward because here we have an on-chain data which shows where we have very important supports and resistances for the Bitcoin price. And here we can see that we have at $51,500 extreme important and extreme safe support below us. So basically, if we are dumping to the downside or if we dump below $51,400, we may keep dumping until $48,000 or maybe approximately $43,000 because there are still some massive supports below us. And if we are pumping to the upside and keep pumping, we can see that we have the next resistance levels here at these levels of $57,000 and $55,000, as I mentioned earlier in much videos the last days. So basically, guys, let's go forward to the chart analysis.
Today, the bulls and bears are again fighting over in which direction we will leave this consolidation we just saw in the last 8 days. We have saw some significant wicks to the downside in the last 3 days, but everyday candle was bought up again before we saw the day close, which is in pretty good signs for the bulls because it's always indicating that we have an increased chance of leaving this horizontal box we saw in the last 8 days to the upside because the bears didn't manage to get a daily close to the downside despite we saw wicks in the last 3 days to this side. So in my opinion, the chances on the daily chart are a little bit increasing that we'll leave this box to the upside, which which also coincidences with this uptrend line because we are consolidating above this uptrend line. So on the day chart, it doesn't look that bad that we could see a next move to the upside. But the day chart at the moment is still a little bit below our consolidation box, and if in the next 6.5 hours we don't see another little pump to the upside, or we even saw a little bit more downside, so we have a close below this right here, this would definitely be a sign that we could see some more downside coming, because the bears managed to get this daily close below the $51,650. But we also have to have a look at the smaller time frames, because on the 4-hourly time frame there are some important things we can see here. Because if we're activating this consolidation box we talked about in the last few videos already, we can clearly see we 2 times moved out of this consolidation box to the downside, found support on our important daily support line, and then got up again in this box. So on the first time we even reached the top of our consolidation box again, which is a good sign. But the second time it looks like that we just saw a bounce and then we got rejected from our middle line of the previous consolidation box. But if you guys remembered, I already told you that in my opinion it's more important that we leave this to the downside and then maybe get support right here. And I already told you another thing, and that would be that we have the potential of seeing a bigger range consolidation, which means that we got another consolidation line right below the wicks to the downside at nearly 50,700 or $50,750, something around here. And this could lead to us maybe not having this smaller consolidation box, which we are still following on the day chart, what we just talked about, but on the smaller time frames we have these little bit broader consolidation box. So we could potentially remove this old middle line, would be our old lower trend line. So we have now this bigger consolidation box, which could mean that on the smaller time frames we have no problem, because we are still in our a little bit broader consolidation box for now. But if we see a daily close in the lower part of our consolidation box on the smaller time frames, we could see the breakout out of our smaller consolidation box, which we are still following on the daily time frame, which could indicate a little bit of bearish momentum. But as we also know, Bitcoin market maker love to do the Max Pain scenario, which could be something like we're seeing a daily close below here, so everybody then thinks, oh, we may get a little correction and maybe even get a daily close below this trend line, but stay inside this broadener consolidation box right here, and then in a few days get again above our rising trend line and then leave this consolidation box to the upside. This would be a scenario where many people probably would short right here and then would get liquidated if we get another move to the upside in a few days. So I'm very careful at the moment, and I'm always having a look on the smaller time frames, and that's what I'm doing right now with you, because on the 1-hourly time frame we potentially have again a small pattern which could lead where we would see the next move to. If I'm activating this right here, we can clearly see we are forming a little symmetrical triangle. On the upside the trend line is not confirmed yet, because we just got 2 touch points, so it's not a confirmed trend line at the moment. But on the downside we have 3 touch points, so we had that confirmed trend line right here, and this could lead us to leaving the bigger broadener consolidation box to one side. So I'm pretty much not thinking that we'll leave it today, but maybe we'll leave it on Friday, because Friday is potentially the last day where we would see bigger price moves, because the weekends at the moment have very low volatility, as we know, because the spot ETFs are not open. And in my opinion, this would be a probably realistic scenario that we'll leave this symmetrical triangle here. So this could be the place where we'll leave the symmetrical triangle and then maybe move to the upside or to the downside. We will need to wait for the confirmed breakout for sure, but the price target of the symmetrical triangle could bring us above this consolidation box or below this consolidation box, depending on which side do we break out of the symmetrical triangle. But for sure, that's only the 1-hourly time frame, so we always have to watch out, because we have these important consolidation boxes on the daily time frame, the upper part of this consolidation box, as I already told you, and for sure we got this broadener consolidation box on the 4-hourly time frame. So it also could be that we will just break out of this symmetrical symmetrical triangle and then find support on the lower side or on the upper side of this consolidation box. But I think these are the most important things you have to watch out in the charts at the moment. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below where you think this symmetrical triangle will break out to the upside or to the downside. And I would say we will see us in tomorrow's daily update. Bye bye.